Chloe from ArtCrafters, brought to you by ActiveKids. Today we'll be making a pop-up seaside that looks just like this. One piece of paper turned into a three-dimensional pop-up seaside. Well, I hope you're excited, because let's get started. As a safety reminder, we're going to be using scissors today, so make sure that you have an adult present or nearby so that you don't get hurt. The materials you'll need for today will include a piece of paper, a ruler and pencil, some coloring utensils, and glue and scissors. Great, let's dive in. To create the shape of the pop-up seaside, you'll first use a white piece of paper and fold it in half. Make sure you press down on the crease so that you have a nice defined edge. Next, we're going to fold the bottom half of the paper up to that crease, and then press down on the edge again. Then take your ruler and measure the midpoint of the paper. These measurements are for the chairs and the table, so make sure they're somewhat in the middle or else they'll look really off to the side. Once you've made the markings for where you want the chairs and the tables to be, use your ruler to extend up those lines to create a two-dimensional table. To differentiate the cutting lines and the folding lines, I've used dotted lines to mark as the folding ones and straight lines for the cutting lines. Once you're done with the markings, use your scissors to cut on those straight lines. Then fold each of these boxes at the dotted line. Now comes the tricky part. Unfold that bottom half of the paper and use your fingers to help pinch those rectangular segments up like this. And once you've got it standing, push down the entire piece of paper like this and press firmly along the edges. And that will be the shape for your pop-up seaside. With my pencil and ruler, I'm starting to draw the umbrella shade now. As you will see, I will be using a pencil to sketch out most of what I want to draw first, and then use a marker to reinforce those lines. Now that I've done sketching the umbrella, I'm going to work on my furniture. I have the table and the chairs to draw. I'd like my background to be a sunset backdrop, so I'm going to draw half a sun here. Now that everything's sketched out, I'm going to use my black marker to go over those lines. The basic structure of our pop-up seaside is more or less done, so now you can be creative and add whatever you want to your pop-up seaside. I'm going to add a flower pot right here. And also a little sailboat out here. For the meals, I'll be drawing a delicious hamburger, and a yummy hot dog. Don't forget to draw your utensils. Great! Now that everything's been drawn out, it's time to start coloring. I'm going to use my yellow crayon to start coloring to make sand. I'm going to add some shadows to the base of my chairs and table. Adding shadows will make two-dimensional objects look more 3D. So in the case of your pop-up Seaside, your chairs and tables will pop up even more. Next up, I want my furniture to be made out of wood, so I'm using this brown crayon and coloring all my furniture pieces. Now that that's done and the water's done, I'm going to start coloring my plant. I think pink would look nice. Now I'm going to start coloring the sunset. So I'm starting with yellow first, and then I'm going to use some orange to darken the base and the surrounding. And then using the red to make it look even darker. Using these colors, I will then color the entire backdrop to make it look like a sunset. I've seen some very beautiful sunsets, some when the sky has streaks of pink, or it's just really dark orange, or sometimes even streaks of purple. So today I'm going to add some purple to make it look that beautiful. Onto the umbrella now. I've chosen to make it a shade of light green and a shade of dark green. Wow, it's coming along really nicely. Don't forget to add the sunset coloring over in these little cracks. We don't want some white gaps in our finished product. Oh, and don't forget to use the marker to fill out the umbrella pole here. Wow, with this red sailboat and a really nice and orangey purple sunset, I'm really happy with how this is turning out. I hope you like yours too. Now it's time for the last little bits of the coloring. Here I have my hamburger and my hot dog. Now that all the coloring is done, let's use some markers to add some more details to make it look even better. First up is to create little sand dots using a yellow marker. Then, using the brown marker, I'm creating a little more wood texture on the chairs and on the table. Next up, we have the blue sea. Let's create little waves here. Now that everything's all colored and I don't want to add anything more, it's time to make this flat piece of paper pop up into a three-dimensional pop-up seaside. Using similar techniques as we did earlier to make the whole piece of paper stand up, we want to pinch the furniture pieces now and fold down on the edges. And there you go! Look at it transform from a flat piece of paper into a three-dimensional pop-up seaside. If you are having difficulties making it stand on its own, feel free to take a piece of heavier weighted paper, like this one, and attach it to the back of it. To do that, simply place the harder piece of paper behind the pop-up seaside and use a pencil to mark down where the corners of the harder piece of paper will pop up. Then use your scissors to cut off those corners. Apply some glue to this heavier piece of paper . And stick your pop-up seaside onto it. Apply glue to the base of it as well. Press firmly and let the glue dry. But there you have it, your very own pop-up seaside. I hope you enjoyed making this with ArtCrafters. See you next time!